Hello and welcome to the IIHF Skills4All January. Happy New Year's, everybody. My name is Kalle Väliaho and I'm the host of today. So I'm working for the IIHF as a development director. So welcome everybody and let's have a good day today. I'm going to start with sharing my screen, just going through some housekeeping rules for everybody so you know what's going on, and I'm going to guide you through it. So today we are working about how to work together in community. So basically, like, how do we build everything together in the federation? We will have a really exciting presenter today from Finland telling you about how the Finnish system works about in community ways and how do they work together. So basically, people, you are participating in Zoom. As you have already known, keep your camera off, keep your microphone muted, and you do have a chance to ask questions during the presentation. So please use your chat function over there. You can do it already during the presentation, also after the presentation. So whenever there's a question in your mind that you would like to hear more about it, just please use that function to send the question, and we will ask all the questions after today's presentation. And please provide your name, your title, your federation or your association over there, so we will also see who's online and who's asking the questions. So that would be really interesting in the cultural wise to understand. And this will be also streamed throughout the Vimeo in our webpage, so you can be also interactive by using Twitter. And also today's presentation will be streamed and it will be videoed, and we're going to put this presentation and this video afterwards in our webpage. And we will inform you when everything is all there. So why we do community and why do we talk about working together today? It's a part of our IIHF values. It's about our community, our IIHF family. So again, it's one way to respect you and tell how the things are done in different federations and share the knowledge. And actually today's topic it's about how do we work together inside the country, inside the communities, and inside the umbrellas. And that term will be explain you later on what in this topic the umbrella means. So our today's speaker is coming from Finland. He has been working with the Finnish Ice Hockey Association for many years as a regional coach, and he's responsible of different clubs in Finland. Been working with our women's national team programs several years with different age groups, and also with our men's national team programs in different age groups. So he has a really strong background from ice hockey and pretty much with the ice hockey development. So please, I will stop sharing my screen. So please welcome Jari Ruottinen from Finnish Ice Hockey Association to participate with us and explaining and telling and giving information how Finland, how clubs, how the federation are working together in Finland to share the knowledge. So please welcome Jari.
Thanks, Kalle, and hello for everybody. I'm gonna start my presentation. First of all, a couple of words about myself. So I'm 44 years old guy from Finland. I have two kids, 7 and 9-year-old boys. Both are playing hockey, and I've been working as a regional coach for 12 years. I think it's my 12th or 13th year as a regional coach, and as Kalle said, I've been part of a female program earlier, and now I'm with under 19 national team, and before that I was with under 16s for 1 year here. But working together here in Finland, it's maybe one of the secrets that we've been so successful lately, and last years in international events at all the levels. because we are so small country, it's easy to work together and make things quick and spread things very quick to the field. But first of all, to get understand how we work, I'm gonna show you FIHA in a nutshell, that what we've done in past 20 years. Here's our base of our all working for 8 to 10 years at the moment, and we have to respect all the persons, all the people who are involved in the sport of hockey, and of course it has to be fun, and the community, as I said, it's pretty easy part here in Finland, because we are so small country. Of course people think differently, but we are really open to share our ideas and even to argue with each others, but we always can figure out the answer from the questions, that how we're gonna do the things. And that's probably the one of the secrets, that we're open, we speak a lot, and we are trying to pursuing excellence throughout the conversations. And of course we want to have fun, and I hope that all the other countries can see it also, that even if we are a bit serious, we're actually enjoying the game of hockey. But this is small background info about FIHA. So it's been founded at 1929, and at the moment we have 50 full-time workers, about 75,000 registered players and coaches, and 35,000 of those are youth players. Maybe the numbers are growing a bit. It's hard after Corona, but we're working hard to get even more kids involved. But the age groups are getting smaller in rate of birth, so it gives us a huge work to raise the numbers. We have approximately 250 indoor rinks and 400 clubs, and about half of those clubs have a youth program. It's 5.5 million nation. Our population is that big, and it's concentrated to the southern part of Finland. So up north, there's not that much things going on. We are first at the IIHF ranking because of the last year's events. We succeeded pretty well, and 2 years ago we had 85 NHL contract players, and over 60 played during 21-22 season in the NHL. So it's pretty big number from that amount of the players. But then what had happened in FIHA in small history, like at 20 years ago, first at 98 we hired first full-time instructors, and at the same time Finnish Ice Hockey Association decided to start to support clubs by helping out the clubs to hire coaching directors. And we hired, I think it was 25 coaching directors at the first hand, and funds came from the 97 and 2003 World Cup profits which were held in Finland. And the support for the clubs was paid all the way until 2006. So they get basically 6 years of support from federation to make their association work better. And that worked really well, because at the same time we had FIHA instructors who had guys to go at the clubs. So it was kind of a back and forth. The sharing started from there. FIHA helped and clubs hired, and then FIHA offered help for the guys to make clubs work even better. And 2007 FIHA started program to the full-time regional coaches, and it lasts like 5 years to get all the regional coaches to all the regions, and the first full-time FIHA instructors basically came our bosses, and they were responsible of different parts of the Finnish ice hockey. So actually we took their places and started to go to the clubs as regional coaches, and they helped out us because they were more experienced guys. And when we had kind of a system ready, our clubs were even better. They were developing all the time. So we had to figure out the way to make clubs actions kind of equal and build certain kind of standards and figure out the way to support clubs financially. So we both audits or auditioning program from Belgium ice hockey and translate it into the Finnish hockey. The first part of audits was kind of a club actions part, that how about your organization tree, and how about the player recruitment, how about your coaching lines, and how about your money things, what kind of actions you offer to the kids and to the community. And then they get points from those, and the more points you get, the more money you got. And the second part of auditioning was field auditioning. So regional coaches and FIHA instructors they went to the clubs and watched practices, interviewed coaches, interviewed head of coaches, and then we gave points for that how good those practices and how good the games was led and so on. We gave points from them, and then we shared the money throughout the points again. So as you see, all the way the small history from 98, 97 to this year, we've been sharing the profits from the world championships to the grassroots level. And that's kind of a unique and well-built system that we have tried to add ladders and kind of layers one after another to make our clubs better, because everything happens in a club. So we have decided that our way to make our hockey better is to make our clubs work as a well-oiled machines. And 2012, FIHA hired first full-time under 16 head coach, and now we have all the junior national team head coaches are full-time, and at the same time we started our skills coaches project. If I should name one project or one way to share money which has most results, it is that skills coaches project. First, we hired 26 skills coaches for the 100 clubs, and at the moment the number of coaches is 30, and funds came from the world championships 12 and 13. It costs for us a little bit under $1 million per year, but the profits are so good that we can produce better players, and our club actions are way better. Parents are happy. The guys who work in the associations are very happy, and again, regional coaches has guys to help and guys to spread out the message from the federation, from the junior national teams to the field. And the newest thing is this year's straight support from the 2022 World Championships funds. So we're gonna give straight support to the clubs based on the licensed players, what they got. So more players you have, the more money you will get. And this development is really good to hold in your mind what comes to working together. So this is our kind of a two paths that everybody starts from the Lion Hockey School and pre-hockey kindergartens part, and then at the left side you have you can see the kind of a competitive part of the ice hockey, and at the right side you can see the recreational part of our ice hockey. So children's sport or block hockey, youth sports, easy hockey, and then elite top level sport or rec hockey, old timer hockey. So that's really basic stuff. We have 8 regions, and 2/3 of our players are coming from regions 1, 6, and 2. So southern part and the western part are the most productive, and 1/3 of our players comes from all the other regions. So as I said, that the people are dropping down to the southern part of Finland, that's really true. That's really true. And then the part of where the cooperation actually happens, we have built a structure at the same time when we hired skills coaches to our clubs, that they have to have 500 players, junior players, to get one skills coach. And we don't have that big clubs, more than 5 in Finland. So they had to build kind of an umbrella. So the bigger clubs should help out the smaller clubs which are located nearby. And that's the way they can get those 500 players, and that's the way they get support from FIHA and get the hired skills coach. And here this is a horrible looking slide, but here are all the regional coaches, and all of those names under the one guy are teams with which the guy is responsible for. So there's a lot to take care of for the one regional coach. But the trick is that all of those bolded clubs, they have skills coaches. So basically skills coaches are helping us out to make the club actions better and make the player production better, make the actions better. This is one example of umbrella. So Sport from Vaasa, it's a big club from the western part, and they have five smaller clubs to help out. And those 5 smaller clubs have at least half of the players. So if Sport have 250, 300 junior players, those 5 clubs have at least the same amount. And the Sport is responsible for spreading out their coaching lines, helping out the coaches, helping out the club actions for those small teams. So if Askiekko wants to get help to how to coach under 12s, skills coach from Vaasa drives to Seinäjoki and helps out the coach and leaves all the materials there. And here is another example from Lahti region. where I come from, there's one big club and 5 smaller towns next to each other. So there used to be six clubs, but they made a fusion, and now it's Junior Pelicans, and now they have 1,260 players, I think. So the best teams are here in Lahti. The second best teams are located at the different rinks, and so on. Third best teams are located to the next rinks, and so on. And this is maybe a bit easier to run as a club, but it gives way more work for the guys, because there is no smaller clubs anymore who has hired their own head of coaches and so on, though. So all the guys are working in Lahti, and they have to drive back and forth to the different rinks and make sure that their actions are going on at the every rink, and coaches are doing what the club wants. But their goal is to get teams from U15 to the men's team, all top 3 levels at the all age groups. As I said, we have set different goals for the umbrella, and better cooperation between the clubs is the most important one to improve the sports in the region altogether. So what we are aiming to get as good actions on the ice as possible. That's why we are here for, and that's why the skills coaches are there for. And when the skills coaches are showing to the smaller clubs, people are seeing them, they realize that we are working together, they are not stealing our players. So we have good chance to keep the players in the same club as long as possible. So model club, the biggest club, shares all the info, shares all the help, and best players move to the model clubs at the age of 14 to 17. And it mostly happens when they're U16 and they start to play nationally. And it kind of blocks early years recruitment between the clubs. But if some kid, for example, moves from a smaller town to the bigger town, all the transactions are going between the clubs, no calls by the coaches to coaches. So head of coaches to head of coaches, they help out, and they figure out the way which is the most reasonable arrangement for the kid, and it's been working pretty well, because everybody knows that this is our umbrella, and we have chance to move there when the kid is old enough, so they don't have to hurry to the place at the sun. And then I like the idea that model club invests to the smaller clubs to get better players, because the more we have teams in young age groups, the better players we're gonna have. If we're gonna squeeze them into the one club too early, we're gonna lose a lot of talent, and then it improves the club work and leadership when we have better cooperation between the clubs. And what it gives also, it gives a chance to develop players for a long term. We don't have to hurry too early. It's not about winning a single game or a single championship at the certain age group. We're aiming to develop the players to the international and national level, and when they're adults, so they have kind of a piece to grow up in their in their own community without changing a club, without moving and chasing the hockey. But it comes when they're changing to the secondary or second level school. So skills coaches, what they're doing. It's interesting part and background of skills coaches, why we're gonna have, or why we decided to get skills coaches. As I said, that our quality wasn't equal at the clubs. Some of the clubs were top of the world, and some of the clubs weren't. So they need help at the daily basis as the youth coaches, as the voluntary coaches. So we want to hire guys who are going to help youth coaches at the daily basis. And at the same time, the youth coaching would be more effective. And we as regional coaches, we needed help because we didn't have enough time to mentor and help out all the youth coaches. So now we are mentoring skills coaches at our daily basis, and it's kind of a mandatory in our task list as a regional coach. So we have to do it 2 to 3 times during a season and report for our supervisors about that. But basically, we are in contact with them at least once a week per guy. And as I said, the background is that it is the biggest investment in Finnish hockey ever, and FIHA funds the project. It's almost 1 million per year. And this is picture of our Lion Road, and who is helping who and who is doing cooperation with who. So we as regional coaches, the lowest box at the left side, we help coaching directors in the clubs, and we help at the same time skills coaches who are working with the under 10 to under 15 kids. And coaching directors and skills coaches are spreading out the information to the volunteer youth coaches to under 10 to under 15. And it works really well. So if Kalle would send me something, for example, from IIHF, and says that this should be mandatory at this year, we can spread out that information to every single youth coach in a week. And then when the youth or kids hockey part is over, and we come to youth hockey, under 16, under 18 part, under 20 part, our national team coaches are driving all the towns and spreading out the points of emphasis to the clubs and to the under 16, under 18, and under 20 coaches. Points of emphasis are our yearly tool, which comes from the junior national team coaches to the regional coaches. So they under 18 world championships, U16, U17, U18, and U20 head coaches are pulling together points of emphasis for next year, what we have to improve and what we are good at in Finland. And we're gonna have a squeezed, pretty sharp, bullet sharp PowerPoint. And as a regional coaches, we kind of translate it to the kids language, and as national team coaches, they're gonna have it in a way they have do it. So as I said, they're gonna share that information with the clubs, and we're gonna share it with the club's youth coaches. So it's easy way to get information from the junior international tournaments and international level to all the way to the under 10 kids. and what happens after every international tournament in Finland. For example, U17 head coach, he coaches the tournament. He sees the kids playing there. He gets videos, and so he's gonna have a feedback. So he drives to every town after tournament where the kids are from, and he's gonna have a meeting with the kid's coach and the head of coaching of the club. So the club and the coach is gonna know how the kid performed at the international level. And that happens with under 16, under 17, under 18, and under 20 coaches. So it's a heck of a work, but it makes the club national team coach and the club head coach or the kids head coach to be at the same level. So they know what to do and in which direction to develop the kid. And then I jump back to the skills coaches, because those are kind of if you compare it to under 16, under 17, and under 18 national team coaches, the skills coaches are regional coaches, guys to go for. And if we want to have some changes, or there's something to fix, or something's going really well, who we're gonna inform? We're gonna inform skills coaches, and we're gonna work throughout them, because they are guys who are 80% of their time with the skates on. So as I said, if Kalle sends me something and says that this is important, so could you spread it out to the whole Finland? We're gonna spread it out throughout the skills coaches and throughout the head of coaches in the clubs. We got 250 applications, and 28 best applicants were hired to work in the clubs. 26 at the first hand, and at the moment we have 30 of those, because we have 2 extra, but one was at the first hand for female hockey, but now we don't have female hockey separated. It's in all of the 30 guys job description that they have to work with both genders. And skills coaches are educated by behalf of Finnish Ice Hockey Association. They're gonna be here at Virmäki Sports Institute of Finland 1.5 years, 3 days at the school in a month, and on ice and off ice, multi-sport message, skills development theories, windows of trainability. On ice, it's skill-based FIHA long-term player development program, and we have best skill learning researchers were involved here to educate skills coaches. So the newest theories on and off the ice, and it's remarkable advantage for us, because these skills coaches, we have 30 of those. Those guys are needed at the field, and we get educated guys to the clubs. And here's another map of Finland. You remember the earlier map where were the regions, and there is this, each star is one of the skills coaches. So I have 4 skills coaches in Hämeenlinna, in Lahti, in Tampere, and in Hyvinkää and Riihimäki. So my region is not that big, but I have 3 big clubs and one a bit smaller. So we have 30 hardworking guys there, and we try to support them to spread out the message to the volunteer coaches. And here our structure is described a bit easier way. So we have regional coaches, and then head of coaches or coaching directors at the club, and underneath of regional coaches and coaching directors, the skills coaches will be there. The hammers who are all the time on the ice with the volunteer coaches. And then we have mentoring system that FIHA has hired mentors, ex-players who are helping out the smaller clubs if skills coaches and all the others doesn't have time to go the smallest of the smallest clubs. So what we do and what the skills coaches do, and about the cooperation in Finland. We are coaches helping coaches. That's maybe the best description of skills coaches and regional coaches work. Father coaches need help to do things right, and they need to have message straight from the junior national teams to youth coaches. So who's gonna spread it out? It's national team coaches, regional coaches, and skills coaches. We try to influence everything between under 10 to under 15, from A to AAA level. And skills coaches are most of the time on the ice, as I said. They're giving feedback to the coaches, they're mentoring coaches, running practices, showing what to do, having different skills clinics, showing how to do things right, planning seasonal, monthly, weekly on ice plans, and building the structure of practice. Is it clinic structure? Is it combinational structure, or is it structural practice? And they are trying to help out the volunteer coaches to get better. That's kind of a sensitive part of the work that you as a professional are going to be on the ice with the volunteer who is a bit uncertain. So those guys has to really know how to help out the volunteer guys, that they are not insulted and they doesn't feel that they are not doing well. So basically it is hand by hand, doing together, talking, building a relationship, actually being a real friend with the guys and with the volunteer coaches. And at the moment, because the project has been on like 10 years, at the moment it goes in a way that volunteer coaches are calling the skills coach that, hey, I have a problem with this drill, and or with the parents, what should I do? Can you help me out? And it works both ways, that skills coaches can do the same thing, that, hey, I need you to add more skating to your programs at next month. Okay, I'm gonna do it. Can you help me out to plan the practice? And what comes to coaching development in Finland, and to paint the big picture again, we have 8 full-time and 1 half-time regional coach, and in 8 regions of FIHA. So there's a lot to do for us, but then we have those 45 full-time pro guys running the clubs, head of coaches. They're planning the coaching lines, what to do in which age groups in the clubs. And then kind of underneath of those guys, we have those 30 full-time skills coaches at the clubs. So regional coaches, head of coaches, and skills coaches are helping out the volunteer coach to build as good practice and as good seasonal planning as possible. And then we have over 100 part-time head of coaches at the club, and those all allocated to 180 to 190 junior clubs. I run back to Pelicans. For example, they have one guy who is responsible of the lowest box, Lion Hockey School, and then U9 and U10 year age groups. So one guy runs those. Then they have one guy responsible of U11 and U12. And then they have another guy who is responsible of U13 to U14. U15 head coach in Lahti, he is part-time guy, and he gets help from the head of coaching. U18 and U16 guys are full-time, and U20 guys full-time. So they have basically 1 or 2 age groups per guy, hired professional guy. And then they have one guy responsible of easy hockey path. So they have quite many guys working at the club. So it's not that easy to run a bad practice as a volunteer coach, because somebody's helping you out and watching all the time what to do. And you guys to get to know how I affect this, for example, in this club. For example, this week I was watching U12 and U13 practices, and skills coach and the guy who is in charge of 13, 14, kind of another skills coach. They wanted me to watch the practices and give them feedback so they can help out the coaches to make practice better. So then I watched the practices and gave a phone call for the guys, and we were speaking about certain situations and big picture, how much they were skating and so on. And because when you get success, probably people are more calm and people are happy, but it gives, at the same time, everybody wants to be there in the spotlight. So some of the players wants to move and someone wants to get to the bigger club earlier, but our goal is enable training opportunities close to the clubs, so they don't have to move, or they can stay at home. As I said, that we can arrange our hockey actions in a way that from every part of the Finland, you should be able to chase your dream to be a pro player. And what we do, we work in close cooperation with the clubs to training individuals to get better. From national team coaches to regional coach, and to national team coach to the club, and from the club throughout the skills coaches to the team coaches, to get better players. So that is kind of our way of thinking, that you get always help if you need it, and sometimes it is that if you don't need help, if you don't ask, somebody's watching your practice and giving you feedback. That could happen also. But I'm very pleased to work here in Finland and with the FIHA, because the federation and the clubs are so close cooperation, and it's kind of a two-way information changing, that their clubs are giving questions, they're asking questions, what to do, how to play this situation, or have you think this, have you thought that, have you seen that kid, what he does especially well, or what we should do with that kid skating or shooting. So it's all the time dialogue with the club, with the coaches. We don't look the levels of people that youth coaches, volunteer youth coaches are calling me what to do with the kids, or what to do with the parents, or they can go to the head of coaches, or they can go to the national team coach. It doesn't matter. We try to help each other. So that's our system, and thank you. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Thank you, Jari, and please keep your sharing still going on, because there was actually one question that one of the listeners were asking, that would you please see again the slide with the structure of the FIHA hockey program? So there was one slide on that.
Which one?
We'll see, where did we have it before?
This one.
I think this one, that's correct. So basically there's a lot of different programs going on.
Different programs, and kindergarten part, it's run by clubs. Skills coaches and head of juniors, head of coaches are going to the kindergartens. We have done, as a federation, we have done pre-hockey programs, 5 lessons for the kindergartens. They can use them if they want, or they can use their own material if they want, but we have something to leave to the kindergarten. So if Lahti guys are going there, they're gonna arrange a skating or ice hockey moment for the kids, and they have ready program, and they can leave it to the kindergarten teachers. So if they have sticks in the kindergarten, they can play, for example, at the yard, or if they're going to skate by themselves with the kindergarten, they can use our materials. Lion Hockey School is hockey school for the kids for 4 years, from 4 to 8, and it's different program for every year. First year is adult kid program, then probably skating school, then hockey school, and then kind of a first year of team actions. But some of the towns have U9 teams, and some of doesn't have, so it's last year of skating school or hockey school. Block hockey, it's not that common anymore, but easy hockey has basically replaced the block hockey, and easy hockey goes all the way to under 20. And then rec hockey to the adults, it grows like rapidly all the time, even more teams, and then old timers, of course. And at the left side, U9 to U12 children's sports teams on from U9 to U10. Those are kind of counted together, and usually one guy helps out them at the club, and then next level from U11 to U13, and U14, U15 is for the one guy, and then comes the youth sport.
Perfect, Jari. Thanks for your presentation. Now for the other listeners too, you have a chance to now send your questions over there and following the Q&As. And Jari, you can please stop sharing so we can have a small chat with the questions that we have already received from our listeners. So that would be okay having some sort of discussion. But it seems to me that you are telling me a few times that, in a week the message is already delivered. So that would be something to try for sure in some point of the system. But there's a lot of people that are working in the structure of FIHA. So again, you have a national team coaches, you have a regional coaches, you have a skill coaches, you have coaching directors, you might have some youth managers, and then you might have some other full-time positions. So how do you keep this everything together? How do you make sure that people are in the same page, or are they in the same page, and how do you make it happen?
As I said, the club actions are the most important thing. We as regional coaches, we are 2 to 4 evenings at the club, so we are kind of one part of that. But how we do it, it's led by the federation, and we have different sections of federation in the federation, that club actions, coaching actions, recruitment actions, rec hockey actions, and so on. And we get information from there, and we kind of lead it throughout the sections. And we are so small country, and our clubs are well oiled. So if we gave them information as a federation, the clubs will take care of it, because there is so many layers of workers. So if we want to have some chasing to Lion Hockey School last year's program, we're gonna decide what kind of a change it would be, and then we're gonna aim the message to the, as you said, to the youth managers who are in charge of Lion Hockey School. And at the next week, probably they're gonna remember that we have to change a bit our ways to work. So we kind of aim our messages layer by layer, program by program.
Perfect. Then there's another question, actually, that you mentioned that you were watching them practice in Lahti under 2013. So how often do you visit the clubs? Is it now that you were in Lahti? Is it about that you go there maybe 1 or 2 times more in the spring? Or are you, or do you go there more often? Like, is it once a month, or probably contact the clubs twice a month? So how often do you actually meet and be in contact with the clubs?
We as regional coaches, we are in contact with the clubs several times a week. From 2 to 4 times we're gonna be there at the evening in different clubs. So if we look one club and 1 month period of time, probably I'm gonna be there 4 to 8 times in one club in a 1 month. And then of course what I do there, it depends of task what we have. If they want to have me watching practices and giving feedback for the coaches or for the skills coaches or head of coaches, I'm gonna do it. But if they want to have help to build out their coaching lines, I'm gonna drive them throughout the daytime and build their coaching bullets or points of emphasis for the volunteer coaches. And it depends what club needs. So our actions are based what club needs. If they need help with the girls hockey, we're gonna do it. It doesn't matter. They name, we help.
Perfect. So lot of working with the coaches. So basically people are helping the coaches, they're mentoring, they're providing feedback in everyday life. So it's somehow actually one of the questions came for the coach education then, like, is this all what you do with the coaches, or do you educate them? Is there some sort of licensing system that people that regional coaches and skill coaches are evaluating and giving the license for the coach, or do you educate in some way, other ways, and how if there's a need for a recertification, is there something like that in the structure, or how that system works?
We don't have license system, but we have 3 levels of coaching education. First level is the level we run as regional coaches or as skills coaches can do it also. We have clinics there online, or we're gonna change our system. Basic techniques are going to be online clinics, and then clubs can ask from us or from the skills coaches to have optional clinics they want to have. And then if you as a youth coach have been at least 3 of first level clinics, you can apply to the second level youth hockey clinic, which is held here in Vierumäki. It's for 4 times 3 days during a 1 year. And then we have the another second level or third level clinic, which is held in Vierumäki at the same way than the first second level clinic. And when you have run those, the fourth level is the like normal sports instructing school, second level school. And fifth level is, of course, the university part. But we held clinics, and we held clinics for the points of emphasis during a year. Maybe the easiest way to explain it, that first level, how to run a good practice. Second level, how to run a good season. And third level, how to run a good Olympic period, so 2 to 4 years. First level, part of it is in internet as a webinars, and part of it is held throughout the regional coaches or skills coaches. Second level and third level here in Vierumäki, and you have to kind of study by yourself for to pass those clinics.
Perfect. Thank you, Jari. And now there has been several questions. So if we just combine these, a couple of the questions still together, it's one thing, is this umbrella system, and they were mentioned about that clubs are working together and sharing the knowledge and kind of like try to avoid that players are not coming in the bigger clubs. So that's kind of like a different way or different philosophy to think about it. Like, even though you would like to win at all times, so why the clubs should work together, why they should invest the other clubs instead of their own, and what kind of benefits there are that you actually share the information and you're working together and make sure that the kids are staying in their own home rink, which is nearby. So would you have some sort of answers on that topic too?
Biggest clubs would be so crowded. that there wouldn't be enough ice for the kids if all of the players would move to the biggest clubs at the early years. And at the end of the day, when the bigger club needs kids, or if there's good enough kids at the smaller clubs, and nowadays they're gonna end up to the bigger club anyway when the time is right. So the benefits are that more ice time for everybody, better coaching for everybody, and you still have a chance to chase your dream throughout the bigger club. And we have more teams, more games to play, because the small clubs are still alive. They don't die away because they don't have players. So even the bigger clubs should have clubs to play against at close, like geographically close of them, that they don't have to drive back and forth all the Finland.
That makes a lot of sense. So thanks, Jari, for presenting for us and answering all these questions. And we will add this Jari's video and presentation to our webpage later on. So thanks, Jari, one more time for being with us today.
Thank you. It was honored to be here. And if some of you guys have any questions, you can email me, or I will rather answer for you.
Perfect, and we will for sure let Jari's information on you too. So thanks, Jari. And at the end, I just wrap around and just going through what's coming up in the spring. So basically now we do have a global girls game coming up on February 18-19. So I think all the federation have received an email. So make sure that you are with us playing the game. Women's Summit will be hosted in Budapest end of February, and at the moment there's over 40 countries who are already agreed to come in. So if your federation hasn't signed up yet, so make sure that you are coming to Women's Summit in Budapest. Next week, the registration for the Coaching Symposium Tampere is going to be open. So it's 16. So make sure that take your spot early enough. So making sure that you have a place in Tampere. There will be a lot of interesting presenters coming up, and you will hear more about it next week. There was one news about it, for example, Jean Cote is coming up to present in his topics. Next month, we will go with the target development. So the more that would be how do you build a program? Why have you changed your programs and that kind of topic. So stay in tune on February 15th. So we will have 1 or 2 presentations from there. But hey, thank you so much from January Skills4All. It was really good to be here with you, and hopefully you were able to get some ideas, thoughts to think about your development pathways in your federation or in your club. So you can always learn something by listening to other people, and always you can contact people to help you out more. It was all about working together, and that's why we are here. We are learning from each other. We are working together and learn from each other. So thank you, and have a good January, and see you in a month. Goodbye.